Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Inhabit Mars channel. Today we are going to look at this image right here. This is the Damoiseau area, and I hope I pronounced it right, of the moon. And I've been wanting to do this video for quite some time, but I got caught up in that last model with all those gigapans of the area that the rover spent considerable amount of time in, and that was called the Garden City area. And it was there from at least like Sol 755 to 906. So we had lots of images of that area, and it was a great model to do, but it was very, very in-depth. So today, as promised, we will look at the Damoiseau area of the moon. We have a lot of interesting things in this photo, and so I'm not going to do a whole lot of images up front. Chris has covered this area, Chris from Mars Anomalies and Beyond, and also his sister channel, Lunar Anomalies and Beyond. He's covered this. Now, he covered this a lot in the live streams. We went over this whole area, I think 2 weeks in a row or 3 weeks in a row, he went over this area. Just want to mention, don't forget, if you'd like to support the channel, we are selling some t-shirts through Teespring. You can go to teespring.com /stores /inhabit Mars 2, and that will actually take you to our page, and you can purchase t-shirts and sweaters and sweatpants and leggings, whatever you want. We have most of it there, and we'll be adding more stuff, as I said in the last video. But let's get into this image right here. And without doing a thing to it, this is the original way the image came. If you look down in the main crater that's just to the right of center on the image, you can start to see a whole lot of stuff. And that was without doing anything to the image. Didn't even have to really adjust the contrast very much. Now, I did do that to make it a little easier to see, because the white areas were a little bright, but you could still see the stuff. So I did adjust the contrast a little bit and apply just a very, very light blue filter to it, just to help bring out some stuff. All right. So without further ado, let's get into Blender Live. Now, here is our scene right here in Blender. And what I did was I actually put a sun up here to the left so that we could see the angle that it was coming from. All right. And so if we go and look at our model right here, and we just turn it just a little bit, you can see the sun up there, and see this, it's hard to see, but you can see this black line coming down to tell you what angle the sun is at. And that's where the shadows will be cast, and we matched up our shadows to match the actual shadows in the images, so we got everything pretty well lined up. Okay, so let's go over to our panel first, and I don't have a whole lot of objects on the panel because the model actually you can see real well. But this is the area we are going to predominantly focus on right here. And this is the main crater here. And this has a lot of stuff in it and a lot of detail. And we're going to look at some of this stuff. Chris mentioned a lot about these buildings and stuff in the background. And once again, now, I didn't do anything to this except I changed the color of our sun to have a little bit of orange in it, which it would normally have. So it's going to make the color a little bit different, but without doing anything, we can start to see buildings. We see this big giant tank in the background, seems to be some sort of metallic. You can see more buildings here. Here's another building here, and then we get to the roadway. We see what looks like a huge vent shaft. I don't want to get too close into it so you can still see it, but you see the shape of it, and you see some objects on top. I imagine that would be something, maybe blades to exhaust anything, although there's no atmosphere, so I don't know how that would work, but something is on top of that vent shaft, and that's what it looks like as a vent shaft. You got a roadway, that runs through here. You got some more buildings, and I did not have time to model all of these buildings, and some of them you just couldn't get the detail you wanted. Most of them you could, but there were some that you just couldn't get the detail you wanted. So I don't have all the buildings modeled, but we have the main ones. Right here, you can see a tank. You can see a double row of pipes coming out and going down into the ground. You can also see two more tanks back here and pipes coming out of those running into a combiner pipe, and then the two pipes come out of that combiner and then run down over these pipes and into the ground here. We've got this is what I should have mentioned at first. We have 3 rows of wall right here, and it's been suggested by several. I know I've heard it talk that these were probably domed cities, and at one time there was a dome probably protecting this city from the vacuum of space and the radiation and solar radiation and everything. So I don't know if these were like a dome that went around, but the main part of the crater actually looks like a crater that's been dug into, and then this looks like a wall that was added. And I'll show you that as we get into the model. And then we have actually a third wall, or maybe a building right here on the inside. Okay, and then we'll get over to this left side over here where we found some objects, and I'll show you what those are here in a moment. So let's go over to our 3D model. And once again, just remember our sun is coming from that angle, casting a shadow kind of towards you at an angle from your left. All right, so let's get into this. All right, and this is my girlfriend Jenny, of course, you should know her by now, and our one daughter Alara. Our older daughter is asleep. So
this one was asleep.
She was asleep till we started recording. When she heard us getting ready to record, she decided she wanted to come over here and be with us in the video. So, okay, I'm going to start with these walls. All right, and these are those walls, and I didn't texture anything real high texture this time because I wanted to save space because I knew we had a lot of stuff to add. But if I move this out of the way, can you see those walls, darling?
Yeah.
And see the shadowing behind it? So you can tell that this is actually completely in front of this crater right here. And this crater does look kind of natural. Now, it might have been modified, but I believe it was an original crater. But what did you think of this area when we first looked at it? I know you saw some stuff in this, and you were very interested in some of this stuff. Is there anything you wanted to point out right now, or just wait till we get farther into it?
Offhand, no. I'll just wait till we get further into it.
What'd you think of this roadway right here? Do you think I was correct and that was a roadway that led between these buildings?
It was some kind of path. I saw that. I didn't quite make out what it was, but I know it was some kind of path.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start there, in fact. That seems to be the good place to start. And let's lift that roadway. In fact, let's go move it out of the way this way so it won't cast a shadow from our sun. Can you see this roadway seems to come from back here behind in front of this building, but behind this building here, it runs all the way up to what looks like a wall up here. And it runs all the way across, and then it comes down the hill, and then there's a pathway or a big platform area here, and then there's actually a piece of the road that turns here and comes down into this darker area here, and we couldn't see where that went. But here's a 3D view of what this road looks like, what we believe it looks like. And you can see it comes between these buildings, and then it'll come right up here, and then it comes down, and then it comes around the front, and then down. It was pretty cool. There's actually some sort of piece of equipment here, but I could not get enough detail on that to see what exactly it was. It's really interesting, and it's right there at the end of the roadway where this platform area is. So what that is, I don't know. But we could get enough detail on a lot of these buildings, at least decent detail. And let's move this one out of the way. Let's see, are you going to be able to see? Oh, that's a little bit green. Okay, but hopefully you can see that this building comes a long way this way, and then it has this piece that sticks out. And we believe that it probably has some columns in the front, and we saw those columns in other buildings, and that's why I believe that what's in the front are these columns. And so that one a little hard to make out, but some of these are not. Let's see, was this one we could get some good detail on? I'm gonna have to go to the panel, I think. Let me move over to the panel and show you some of these real quick. Just hurry and get over here. Okay, so this area right here is what we're just looking at. Make sure we're good perspective here. Now you can kind of see that building. You can see that this part sticks out, okay? And then you've got the two long pieces that way. The other building we're going to look at is this one here. And it's dark because it's basically you're looking at the shadow side. Remember, the sun's coming from this way. And then this building was kind of interesting too. Can you see it any better this way? Well, not really. Okay, so let's go back over there. There's your roadway. And here's those tanks. And then this hexagonal tank here. All right, and we're going to look at those. Let's go back to our model, and let's just take a look. Okay, so here we are, and this was the building we were looking at here. And these are quite large, by the way. You see the shape of it right there with the roof. There it is right there. And then this one really interested me, and I'll show you that one too. Check out the shape of this thing where it comes up, comes out, and up, and then flat across, almost like some of the ancient buildings in China, except these parts that come out would be reversed. Yeah, I want to show you. That's what that looks like right there. That thing was cool to model. I like that. We'll check on these pipes. I want to show you those. These are the tanks, and this is what these pipes look like. Oops. All right, stop dropping the phone. All right, so this is what the pipes kind of look like. Now this should actually be raised up, but I'd already modeled the terrain and I didn't want to have to correct a whole bunch of stuff. But these pipes will come straight across, and then they come over these two pipes. This is that combiner pipe, which combines whatever is in these two tanks. It comes out, they combine into this one, and then two pipes come out here, and then they curve around over this pipe and into the ground. And then these two pipes come out of this tank, and they follow this all the way down to this deeper part of this little valley between these two ridges, and they go in the ground there. That was really, really something interesting to me. Now here's some, I don't know what these are, cooling towers or something, but they're there. And it's gonna be, let's see, what angle can you see that best at? See how this comes up? It's got a platform that comes up, comes across, and then this thing comes out almost like a funnel, okay, the darker part. And then And that's on the inside of the lower part where it comes out from. And then, oh, that breaks up really bad. You've got the piece that comes out on top, and there actually seems to be something inside of it. I wasn't sure what to make of it, but this is what it looks like. And if I go back to look dev mode, now you can see it real well. This is a shape it seems to have. Something like this. All right. And that's that right there. All right. And then this actually is either a bridge across or something. Let me pull it out of the way. This part is lower. You can tell by the shadowing, and it's like a deep gorge type thing. And then across that gorge, get the right angle, you can see it, is this structure right here. All right, and you can see it goes way down deep into that gorge. So this is kind of what she's pulling on that stuff. This is kind of what that looks like. It seems to have a wall up here, and then this structure here on the left, which was rounded, and then it like some sort of rod coming out. Could be an antenna or something. I don't know what it is, but that is right across that gorge right there. All right, we have that. Went over these buildings. Okay, here's another one of those vent structures. This one looks a little different, and I'm not sure what material it's made out of. But once again, let me get the right angle so you can see it. Okay, and the roadways obscuring it just a little bit. But there you go, that round structure, and it has something in the middle of it. And I just kind of took a guess. I used my magnifying glass and tried to get in close, and this is what it seems to look like. All right.
That looks like a rim.
Maybe a rim off a vehicle. It'd be quite large if it was. But it's right there in the next to that roadway, and you see how big the roadway is,
Yeah.
and see how big that is, and
It could be to a tank.
maybe once again it'd have to be quite large. Okay, this building here actually had some pretty good detail to it. All right, this is the building. We could see this for some reason clearer than anything else. You can see windows up here going across. It looks like big doors, garage doors. I don't know. This is how the roof looked, and there was actually some stuff sticking up back here. Once again, there were round objects sticking up back here. Well, this is what that building looks like, and it's pretty cool. And once again, it's quite a large structure. I don't know. I don't know the actual size. Supposedly, this area is supposed to be something like 40 miles across. And so these would have to be, these buildings have to be a couple of miles. And they're right there. And if these are a couple of miles, and then there's this one, right there. I'm going to have to go to look dev mode to be able to bring it up. Okay, you got that one right. Man, I can't even see it on here.
What are you looking for?
This building here. But it was there. Let me move this one out of the way. It was there. I don't know. But this building looked like kind of like this right here. All right.
That looks like a single-story school building.
Kind of, huh? Okay. Now this, I know you'll be able to see this real well.
Those look like
This
pipes.
is a large tank. Here's the left side of it. All right. And there are pipes that actually come out of it and go into the ground.
I was
And
talking
then the
about,
metal platform that comes down,
yeah, I was talking about that, the one you just dragged away.
that's this object right here.
Well, I know what it is, but that looks like three pipes together like they used to build.
No, what I did was it looks like it has a flat platform on top.
Oh,
See that?
yeah, zoomed in, that's what it looks like. Zoomed out, it does look like three pipes together, stacked on top of
Hmm.
each other.
That thing is, it seemed to have some reflectivity, so I gave it a shiny metallic texture. All right. That thing is right back there, and of course I'm at a weird angle, so it looks weird, but it is about the angle you have it in the image, and it goes back behind both of these buildings and then disappears because it's kind of at an angle like this. All right, and then we had another uh, cylinder back here, large cylinder. That one. There you go. You can see that right there. If I get it at the right angle, you can tell that is a large cylinder. And it seems to have an opening here and some stuff on top. I don't know what to make of that, but that's how I modeled this one. All right. And we took a good bit of time trying to figure out and decipher these images. Okay, let's get to these buildings here. I'm going to grab both of them at the same time, slide them out of the way. And they're right here in this image. And this second one, the walls seem to come back like this, and it had these columns. Can you see those columns coming down? 1, 2, 3, and we assume there's one on the back side too. That's what that looks like right there. And then this building, kind of the same way, except the sides went out and it had this piece coming forward.
That looks like a courthouse.
Yeah, and that one's right here. In fact, if I put them back, oh, how you got moved, but it's right here, and you can see columns coming down. And yeah, it kind of looks like a courthouse building. Why were you sitting there when you should actually be over here? There we go. All right, there's those. And then I didn't model a whole lot in this area over here. The only thing I saw really of interest in this area was this piece right here. And let's move you out of the way. Yeah, see that right there? It seems to be some sort of, once again, either a dam or a building that spans this gap right here. Okay.
I don't know what she wants. She's just being stubborn right now.
We'll pick her up or something. And that's what this looks like. All right, that's what this structure looks like. And I'm not sure on that one what it's supposed to be, if it's a building, a bridge, or what. But you can also see tanks up here, which I did not model, and what looks like a pipe coming across over here, across this larger plateau right here. Let's see. And then this structure back here, this is huge. Let me show you. I want to move it out of the way. Now, it could just be a cliff wall, but you can kind of get an idea that it goes almost straight down when it comes off this cliff. And then it's got this cone shape to it, except it's broken in this front area. Could it be a natural crater? I don't know, but either way, it has this shape to it. And let's go into look down. In fact, let me do mat cap, and now you can see it real well. This is the shape that that thing has, and I don't know if that's a cliff wall or what, but it's broken off in this area from here to here. All right, and then of course it's almost perfectly circular in here. It comes down to a cone shape, but across the top it's almost perfectly circular. So I didn't know what that was supposed to be, but once again, it's, you know, right here, and you can see that the walls seem to be rounded, almost like concrete on top. And there's a crater impact right there. Then it comes around to here. This is, once again, is open in here. We can see inside. And then this cliff comes almost straight across. All right. Now, I want to get into some of this stuff, Alara, that's over here. And this will probably be better to show on the panel so you can really get a good idea. So I'm going to go over, I've got a zoomed in panel over here. Okay, I'm going to start with this one because this definitely looks like a vehicle. This, oops. Okay. All right. There we go. I still didn't move them. Okay. Now did everything move? All right. This looks like a vehicle. We spent a lot of time looking at this object here and this one over here. We could not come to a determination of what this is over here, whether it is a building or another vehicle. It almost looks like it has wheels underneath it also. And if these are vehicles, they are gigantic. All right. I'm going to show you side by side what they look like. You can call me crazy. I don't care. But this is the shape of this object. You can see three axles underneath the three sets of wheels. And here's 1, 2, and 3. It even has the bed of a truck. And then it has this divider piece. And then it's got these objects in this bed. And then here is the front where you would be inside. And you can almost tell that those are windows right there. They have a like a frame around them. We could see that. And so this is what we saw this object as. All right. And this thing was cool. I was really impressed with this thing. So this is what it looks like. And it had these things in here, and I don't know what these are, but this is the basic shape of them. You know, all the detail we could get out of them. What those could be, I don't know. Oh, try not to blind you with the glistening from the sun. But they're metallic. They seem to be metallic. All right. And what in the world is that? I don't know. Some giant truck. We're talking about giant. I mean, it's bigger than these buildings that I'm about to show you that are over here. All right. Now this, if you want something that looks like the Capitol building, is probably this right here, darling. I can't. But this is what this building looks like. You can see all these columns. There are columns everywhere. But if you want one that looks like a Capitol building, this is it.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. And we've got that. And then we've got this archway right next to it. And that archway is right there. And this even has columns. All right. Is this one out of place? I had this thing in place. Should be back here more. But anyway. There we go. I don't know how it got moved. But there we go. That's those two. No, now it's sticking through the panel, but that's okay. All right, the last object I really want to talk about was this thing right here. Now, I call this one the Observatory. There it is right there. And it's got this oval shape to the top. It's got this panel piece that comes up behind it with kind of these spiky things on the end. It's open right there. And then it's got this big piece coming out of it. And I believe that this is some sort of observatory. And this is kind of what it looks like right here. And I've got that in the model. I'm going to show you where all of these pieces go in the model. You can get a good idea from here. That is that observatory or whatever it is. But it looked cool. I liked it. And so I went ahead and modeled it because I could get at least enough detail to see what it looked like. But you can see that piece goes inside like an observatory. Now, does it turn? I don't know, but at least it's aimed at something. And it's aimed up into the sky. So let's go over to our 3D model and take a look somewhere down here. Okay, there's the truck. There's the bridge, the archway, and that Capitol building. That's what we're going to call it. Here's those. Can you see them on there? Yeah, you get an idea. There's the archway. There's that building. And, of course, it's going to be distorted because it's wrapped onto a mesh. So it'll look somewhat distorted. But there's that observatory right there. And that's just what I'm calling it. I don't know if that's what it is or if it's some sort of weapon or what it is. But to me, it looked like an observatory. Looks cool.
Yeah, it looks like one big magnifying glass. Or,
telescope.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. But it was cool. I don't know. And here's our truck, by the way. I parent everything over here. Yep. I just didn't do it over there. And there it is. Right there. Call me crazy, but that looks like a truck to me.
It looks like a truck.
A big, giant truck, but that looks like a truck. All right.
I mean, you're crazy, but...
Mm-hmm. And there was more stuff back here. I tell you, I could be modeling this one for months.
I think you've modeled enough.
Yeah. But it looked cool. And I don't know what to make of this thing. Definitely not a crater, but what is it? And I've seen this in another place on the moon, the exact same shape. It actually comes up to a tip right there. But the walls come out like a bowl, and then one side comes to a tip, and then it's got the same ground texture inside of it. And I saw that in another video that we did, but I didn't mention it in that one. And don't want to mention any here because I don't know exactly, I don't even know how to explain it. So I just left it, in the image and let people figure that one out. I hope I didn't miss anything. All right. So that's what we got for this area. And I was really wanting to model this for a while because we have discussed this several times in the live chat. We put a good bit of time into it on the Mars anomalies and beyond. If you ever go to the live chat, you know that we've been talking about that. And I was really interested in it because I could see those buildings when Chris was talking about it. I said, wow, I really need to do a video on this. In our next video, as promised, we are going to go back to the model we did on the previous week, and we're going to look at the backside of this hill. Now, like I say, the rover spent considerable amount of time in this area, and in the later sols, it came around to this backside. And if you look at the left side of this hill, you can see all this white like stuff on the ground, and it's actually in the front side of the hill too. It's all over in this area. And so, like I said, I want to bring in my friend Dr. Bruce Cornett. He's got a PhD in, make sure I get it right this time, in paleobotany, geology, and something else. But at least the paleobotany and the geology are the, two of the main ones. But I want to get his opinion on this and see what he thinks is going on this whole hill structure. All right, and he's already watched the first video on this, so he knows what's coming up. So listen, guys, I hope y'all have a good week, and try to stay safe out there.
And remember,
are you in a better mood now? Do you want to wave bye-byes? Say bye-byes. There you go. Bye-bye.
And remember, you guys can buy our merch. Yeah. But like we talked about, it will not have the black border. The new ones will not have the black border. It'll be just the logo itself, no black border. It'll look so much better.
All right, well, thank y'all for watching, and y'all have a good week.
Oh, and my hair is not orange. It looks orange, but it's not orange.
All right, well, see y'all on the next video.